Hello and welcome back to Practice Insider's Edge. My name is Dr. Terri Baron.
And I'm Terri Baron. And we're excited for the holidays, and we hope that you are too. Remember, in this crazy year, especially at the holidays, you need to pause and breathe. Today, we share with you the mindset of margin, which correlates with having to take that pause and breathe, because having a margin is crucial to your success as a private practice business owner. It helps to protect you from the danger of overloading our lives, especially at this time of year, especially this year, because it's a year like no other.
Yeah, unfortunately it is, and maybe fortunately for some, but we'll do the best we can to help with this. When we talk about the concepts of margin, it's quite simple. But I first want to say that we both kind of came across this topic of margin. Actually, last week I was speaking with Dr. William Morgan, of the president of Parker University, and kind of doing some conversations with him. He brought up the book called Margin by Dr. Richard Swenson, and I went and grabbed it. We did a little bit of review of it, and it really implies to, again, what is currently happening in today's world and what's happening around us. So it's margin, again, is simple. It's when you consciously allow yourself some margin for deviation, for striving to achieve your goals. You know, this ties well into goal setting, which we went over last week. And it was a great video. If you haven't seen that, please make sure you go back and check it out. But we'll give you a couple examples of how margin fits into your life. You know, one simple example are the margins on a piece of paper. Now, where there's space, you usually think that there's a place for overflow, or you need some extra room. And a unique thing about my wife is she writes with a ruler. She doesn't like to go outside of those margins in certain things. But in life and in general, on that piece of paper, it gives us room when something we need to do extra, or a special note on the side. So that's one type of a margin that's out there.
Right, exactly. And another physical example of a margin are the shoulders on the side of the road. So the shoulders are there to protect us, to protect you, to protect your vehicle, so that if you have to swerve or you have to pull over, or you get a flat tire, you need to pull over, you have a safe space. If the roads were designed with no shoulders, no margin, it would put us at a greater risk of having problems when you do have something unexpected come up and you do have to make a course correction. So hopefully those analogies of real life physical margins make sense as we correlate them to practice success, and us encouraging our clients, encouraging you that when you are planning for your practice, that you have to build in some margins and allow them.
Yeah. Now, margins allow for course correction, as Terri said. You know, we want our clients to allow themselves to have space to do this, have space for making positive motions forward, and sometimes negative. In other words, if we step to the sideline when we are going through our processes, it's okay. This requires the mindset of the CEO in your practice, where you allow yourself that extra space. And it's something that we coach to with our clients. Now, something that, you know, I'm going to kind of throw in here off the cuff here with Terri and I is, inside of your practice, you have to have margins set up as well, not only for how you interact yourself, how you interact with your staff, and how you interact with your patients. A perfect example is I just got off a coaching call with a client earlier today, and we understand we're in these COVID times, and the patient wanted the doctor to actually go to her home and treat her in her garage. So that's a very unique margin that steps outside. Now, I won't say whether he did that or not, but it's a margin that's set up that's unique to the practice. Another thing that's interesting within our own time when we were in practice together was we're a couple, of course, we're married, happily married, but there was, you know, early on in our practice, she's kind of smiling. We had an attorney in our community. We kind of got into a little bit of an argument in our practice. So he actually said, you know, if I could tell you to do anything, separate your personal life from your professional life in there. So we actually stepped over the margin when we had a patient in our practice. So again, these margins are places for course correction. We took his advice, of course. We probably would have done it on our own, but it's a way in which you have to find where there are holes in the bucket, that if it's pouring out too quickly, you have to be careful. Those are maybe margins that you need to either step into more or step into less.
Right. And the point of having margins when it comes to business practice is also very much, and you touched on it more earlier in our discussion here, about having margins for positives as well, right? If you review our setting goals for the following year or the next year, our video we did last week, we do talk about doing reviews, weekly reviews, monthly reviews, quarterly reviews, and sometimes you set your goals that you actually achieve them ahead of time. Yay! I know it doesn't happen all the time for those of us, especially who are perfectionists. However, sometimes you do achieve goals or something takes off, and the margin allows you to note that so that you maybe reflect earlier than the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the quarter. So if you have that margin, just like on a piece of paper, and you are going to write a special note so that you address something earlier, you need to have margins built in that you can allow yourself to course correct both for the positive as well as something challenging or negative comes up. So when we think about the negative, we do always want to talk about the fact that the margins for those of us who are perfectionists, and I know as a PT, there are many of us that hold that quality inside of us as a core value.
And so do chiropractors.
Okay.
Just so you know.
I'm not the chiropractor, so I just want to make sure I'm only speaking for my PTs from experience, but that perfectionism that we do find obviously across the board in healthcare, private practice business owners, and occasionally the negative self-talk because we don't reach those perfectionistic goals. Providing margins allows you to minimize the negative reactions, responses, results from having that perfectionism and that negative self-talk happen. When you know you have margins and you know you can course correct because they're built into your goals, that's really important to keep us on a positive path as we are trying to keep our patients, our clients positive and taking care of them every day. So you have to take that pause, breathe, and make sure that you recognize you built some leeway, some margin into what's going on for yourself and your practice. So at this often stressful time of the year and into your 2021 goal planning, we really encourage you to factor in those margins. Create that space that you have if needed. It may not be needed, but it's always nice to know that it's there.
Yeah, great topic, Terri. So if you are a private practice healthcare business owner and you have some questions on margins, do us a favor, and below when you're watching this video, you can make a comment on it, or there might be a place where you could sign up for a discovery call with us. We want to help you either increase your margins if you need to, or decrease your margins if you need to. And that can be coming to your pricing points as well. We'll talk about that another time in another video. But if you are in practice and you're looking to grow and scale your practice and you're just not sure how to do that, as I said, we always offer a complimentary discovery call. We'd love for you to grab, the link, jump on a call with us. We'll find out what's currently working, what maybe hasn't worked, if there's something that we can give you for ideas to make you move forward in the future. So we really want you to take this talk, all the other ones that we've done, and really make a positive impact moving forward, going on into 2021. Thanks again for watching the series. If you ever have questions, let us know. Or if you've got other topic ideas, let us know in the comments as well. We really appreciate it.